you want to get more done every single day and feel better about every second you've spent in your online business or anything that's important to you, this is the episode. Welcome into episode 133 of the Client by Client podcast. Let's get this thing started. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, we talked about In the last episode, I handed you the 3 keys for mastering getting clients consistently, what you must focus on, what you must level up in your life, the few things that you're in control of so that you attract more leads in every single day and set yourself up to land more clients every single week. If you are wanting to get clients consistently and scale up your online business and revenue, be sure to backtrack one episode to get the entire framework. In today's episode, it's all about your output. How do we maximize it so that you get more done every single day, so that you can look back and reflect over the last day, week, month, year, and eventually decades, and be proud about the energy that you put in, about the results that you produced, and about your output in totality. The first thing you must understand if you want to maximize your output is you got to get clear on what your goals are before you get started. You got to know what your aim is on any given day. You got to know the feeling that you're going after and how you want to feel when the end of your day wraps up. You want to know exactly what it is that you want to produce, to create, or get done before your cheeks hit the seat, the proverbial seat, before you actually get to your desk and start getting going. And so a lot of this happens the night before. A lot of this happens, we're going to tie this in, when you are wrapping up your previous day and you say, what do we want to do tomorrow? That way you can just get started. I don't remember who it was or where I read this or where I found this out, but there is a famous author, probably authors, that will leave the last word or the last sentence unwritten on the previous page when they're writing a book, so that when they sit down, they just continue the previous thought and keep on going on. And it's a little bit of what I want for you and how I want for you to be operating in your online business. You want to be clear before, when you wrap up today, what you're going to be doing tomorrow. And so your next day starts at the end of today. And you must get clear on your 3 major objectives that you're going to be conquering and accomplishing the next day. So get clear on your goals before you get started. If you're using something like a best self journal, this can help you out. If you're using a Notion dashboard, if you're using just a Post-it note and a pen or paper, get clear on what the major 1, 2, or 3 things that are going to move the needle forward in your online business and in your life, so that when tomorrow starts, your reticular activation system is already going to work for you, figuring out, visualizing you getting those things done, so that when you actually get to the office the next day, when you get to your desk, when you open up your laptop at the coffee shop the next day, those things are already in motion. The second thing that you must do, whether you're working in a coffee shop, whether you're working from home, whether you're working in an office, is you got to make your environment. What you must do is carve out your environment. Sometimes this is mental. For most of us, this is also, if not mainly physical, if not the argument, mainly mental. But I want for you to show up at your work to a clean desk. I want for you to, the night before, clean off your desk. It's a great thing to be in the habit of. And have things around you that are going to either motivate you and or not distract you. A couple things that might motivate you or that might keep you focused is things like a physical timer that's not your phone. You might want to take your phone and put it out of your reach in a drawer on airplane mode so that you can get deep work done. You are not going to miss anything on social media. You are not going to miss any phone call or anything like that's going to change your life, largely speaking. So have an environment that is helpful for you to want to show up to and that you can remain comfortable in. We can get into a laundry list of things that you could do, like having the right temperature and having no people around you or the right people around you, making sure that your Wi-Fi is fast. There's an endless list of things, but you need to have the right environment for you. If you're going to a coffee shop, like 1 or 2 days a week, I'll go to the local Starbucks or a coffee shop, and I make sure to layer up. I'm not going to show up in a tank top like I'm wearing today unless I have something over it. Starbucks are notoriously cold, which is amazing here in the Arizona summer, but it's too cold when I'm inside of there for me to be comfortable enough to focus on work. So I will put something over if I get hot, or if I'm going to go sit outside, if it's too packed. I'm also prepared. I can take that thing off and then I can actually get my work done. So make sure that the environment you're going to be working in is helpful and that you do your best to prepare for and or eliminate distractions. Third, now we're going to tie this all back in together. If you want to maximize your output and you're focused on getting more done, it's important that you review and examine how you performed the day and week before. So if you're starting out on Monday, you want to think back and reflect on the previous week and how did you perform? When were you at your best energy? When did you get the most done? When were you feeling the most avoidant of your work? And when were you the most distracted? And then when Tuesday rolls around, I want for you to start Tuesday off by thinking about how did we perform on Monday? What did we get done? Right now, I am applying this to my diet and my nutrition. I, since January of 2020, have been in a cut. And so my calories have gone from eat whatever to in January of 2020, I said 1,700 calories because I did a calculation and ran the numbers for the macros I needed to eat, the protein, carbs, and fat, along with the calories that needed to add up to if I wanted to weigh 135 to 140. And I just started eating at what it would take to maintain a body at 140 pounds. As I crossed 140 pounds, it happened in the moment. It felt like it took forever, but it also afterwards felt like it went by super fast. So I lowered the calories and I cut calories off and went down to 1620. In the process of doing all of that, I've established a couple habits. One of those is using a calorie tracker and a macro tracker. And I am in there all day long, concerned with wrapping my head around planning and forecasting for the day, making sure that what I just ate or what I ate earlier in the day is reflected correctly inside of the app and in the tracker. And then I'm also managing it on a 7-day basis. So although I hit my goals on a daily basis, sometimes there is some fluctuation. Sometimes I don't need as much. And maybe the day before I ate a little bit over. And so I also manage this on a 7-day average ending every Friday. And so on Friday, I can look back and then I can also on Monday look to Friday and see where things are at on my protein, on my carbs, on my fat, and on my calories. I say all of that to say this. If you can apply that same methodology in your business, your productivity and your output will shoot through the roof and you will not need nearly as much time. You will probably end up investing more time, which is probably a good idea for the majority of you right now, but you will also need less time to get the same amount of things done. What it took for me to produce this show back in May and April when it launched versus what it takes today are completely different things. We've layered in new things. We have graphics here in the live production. We have more micro content, reels, carousels, quotes, and stories going out every single day. And so on top of planning the show and then doing the show and editing the show, we've layered in all these things and it takes less time than what it took me to get this thing off of the launch pad back in April and in May. And so what ends up happening is that you get more familiar with the tasks and you create systems and spreadsheets. And then you wind up saying, okay, what do I want to get done next week? So what 5 shows are going to go up? That's the conversation. And what 5 micro pieces of content on social media are going to go up? And what is my story going to be about all these things? And you spend less energy on the thinking about it and the planning. And then you start to think a lot about the systematizing and the processing, and then you get to just the doing. And because you invested all that time, it takes you less. And this happens in your business as it's happened in my diet and as it's happened with this client by client podcast. So if you want to maximize your output, it really comes down to these 3 things. Number 1, get clear on what your goals are before you start your workday. Second is about making your environment. Make sure that you have an environment you can show up to or you're prepared for the environment that you're going into. You already have your goals in hand and what you're going to get done. You're already visualizing it because you got into this flow, this ebb and this flow of visualizing the next day, reviewing the previous day, thinking about the previous week, and then also reflecting and future forecasting into the future week. And then it's all about reviewing and examining what you did on the previous day, how you performed in the previous week, and having these meetings with yourself so that you can be honest with yourself and so that you can see what worked, what didn't, do more of what worked, do less of what didn't, and also start layering in new things that are going to help you get even more done. In the next episode of Client by Client, let's pull that up because I didn't come prepared with that. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about the number 1 reason you don't need ads to grow your business online. So be sure to come back to get that framework, that mindset, and everything involved. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money and clients on the table every single week and month. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free, simple way for me to manage my leads and pipeline has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. And it was designed specifically for online coaches, consultants, and digital service providers. To download your free copy now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world, all implementing my strategies and methods for starting and growing an online business and getting clients consistently. Get your free invite now by finding me over on Instagram and sending me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So only respond to this if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or Facebook group. You would like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success and longevity as an online coach depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, do a search and find me at What Up Jeremy. Give me a follow and binge on some reels while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business, about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from all over the world with my methods and my frameworks to get clients consistently. And then we'll identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business as soon as that we know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers.